Hello, 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 and welcome to Therapist Corner with Sharia.
And Alexis.
And we are going to talk today about identity and LGBTQ plus. First is what we're going to start with. And I'm excited to get to talk to Alexis about this. I know that her area of focus is sexology and from multiple perspectives, but I want to be able to really today talk about terms and identities. And so I'd like to start off with how, because this will be a webinar as well, and it will take place in March. Can you tell me how will I know what the terms are? What is the right way to find the terms that are used currently?
You can definitely Google.
Absolutely.
Google sometimes is a good friend. You can definitely Google, doing research, looking into some of these communities. There are so many different organizations and agencies that are dedicated strictly to the education of LGBTQIA plus information and lifestyles. So definitely doing your research and being curious is a great way.
Okay.
I will definitely say the wrong way is asking someone.
What do you mean by that?
So if you suppose or if someone reveals to you that they are a part of the LGBTQIA community, asking them to educate you on what that community is like or different terminologies, if you do not have a relationship with that person, is not the best way. If you see someone in the supermarket and if they're wearing a pride shirt, you won't say, oh, hey, what is this? That would not be the most kosher way to find out information. And from those within the community who have explained or expressed what that is like, it doesn't feel nice. So I would not recommend doing that. Now, if you have someone, a friend or someone that you're close to and you want more information, that's one thing. But it would be the same way if you saw a stranger in a supermarket and they came up and started asking you questions about your identity or yourself. You may say, hey, I don't know you. I don't feel the need to tell you about myself.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So as a therapist in the therapy space, when someone discloses and or asks for support in this area of identity, what would you say is the best way to assess your bias?
Asking yourself what comes up for you when someone discloses maybe an identity or an orientation, because those are different things. And then doing your research, seeing, well, how do I feel about this certain thing? Am I able to put that bias, if I have one, aside, in order to support this client, or should I refer them out to someone else who can better support them?
All right, so similar, like you said earlier, identity and orientation is different, and so I'm gonna make this analogy, but it's not the same for each. Similar to understanding how culture works and asking the questions, but knowing your capacity or your ability to know how you can work with them is important because you could actually harm.
Absolutely.
Right, and it's best to do no harm than to actually attempt to learn on a client and then you're actually being harmful.
Absolutely.
Right. So how would I know if I'm being harmful?
Well, a client may not tell you.
Okay.
So that may not be the best way to gauge that. I definitely would say seeking supervision before approaching any type of session that is centered or surrounded around one's sexual identity or orientation. I would definitely seek supervision if you do not have any type of experience working within that community or with someone in that community, or even providing therapy that is centered around that. Because again, that may not be the center of treatment. If I go to a therapist as a Black woman, my Blackness may not be what really is coming up for me within that treatment, even though intersectionality, of course, plays a role in all of it. But that's one thing. Don't make the assumption that because someone is coming to you and they have identified as someone a part of the LGBT community, that that is what is centering whatever they're coming to you for.
Okay. So I guess one last question and then you can give us your final thoughts. What would be a way for me to I guess I don't know how to ask this question. What would be the right way to market myself as an ally for the LGBTQI?
Simply stating that I'm an ally. I'm here. I'm inclusive. I'm here for everyone. I'm open to all identities, and all orientations, and just being truthful about what your limitations are. If you don't know much about the asexual community, you don't know much about the asexual community. If you don't know much about the intersex community, you don't know much about the intersex community. Because while you can be an ally, it doesn't mean that you know all that it is that encompasses each community. And even if you have worked within those communities, be open to knowing that I still don't know everything. Absolutely. Because it's constantly evolving. As we can see, there's constant evolution of the community in and of itself, just like any other community that has multiple identities attached to it and subcultures attached to it. So just being open with, I don't know everything, but I'm here to learn and I'm open to learning and working with you.
All right. So I guess to close out, if you have any final thoughts or things that you would want to leave us with in this area.
Definitely, my biggest takeaway for everyone, do your research. Definitely be open to learning. As mental health professionals, we are constantly learning, working with people. People are constantly evolving. Society is constantly changing. So just being open to learning more things and constantly checking our own biases to make sure that we are not doing harm.
Absolutely. All right. Y'all be well.